Hi guys, it's Chelsea.
And Chris.
And this is LVC Party of Five. As you know, Chris just celebrated his first anniversary, 1 year on T and post-op within that year. So we are very excited about that. Thank you for celebrating with us. But today we wanted to bring a video to you that's more centered around our relationship. As you know, this has been something that I initially had a fear of going into this transition, but being that we're already now a year into it, this is pretty much what it's going to be, and we just know it's just going to get better from here. But there were things that we wanted to share as to how we were able to keep our relationship together throughout the transition, and it actually, through this transition, I think you would agree, it has solidified our bond.
Absolutely. I can definitely co-sign that statement. Today we wanted to bring some tips to you guys that helped us through the first year transition.
Okay, so the first, I think I've said it before, but the main thing, the first thing always is centered around communication. You always have to honestly and openly communicate to your partner what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you need, because it does make a difference. You don't want to harbor things inside of you just because you're trying to, like in my instance, I was being over accommodating to his needs and just being quiet, the quiet one in the relationship. Like that role switched during his transition, which is a total 180 for me, to hold my tongue, to be honest. So
whereas for me, it was nice to actually, not feel like I had to censor myself. I could actually say how I felt at the time, and I didn't have to wait. So I think Chelsea was had to adjust to that difference, that change in my personality. Tip number 2 we have is patience.
More so on the part of the partner that's supporting.
Yes, the supporting partner.
The supporting partner, yes. More so on the supportive partner's part. Because it is, I'm not gonna lie, there was a few times where I almost thought, okay, this is the end, this is it, you know what I mean? But that is, patience is really a virtue.
It is, and on the flip side.
And that's something that you should have with anything, because we have 3 children. You would think that we know.
Right. There was a lot of factors, and my transition. With the kids, work, our relationship. What was that? Patience.
Something you have to have. Yes.
Patience.
You have to let things. Don't be too petty. Please don't be petty. You have to let things kind of like roll off your back. If it's not that serious, just know when to pick your battles.
Yes, pick your battles. That's a good one. Got it.
The third one is a big one too, especially for this one. But empathy. Be able to empathize with your partners, or partner, I should say. For you could say your perspective of it.
For me, I felt that my transition and the decision to transition was very selfish. However, this was the point in my life where I decided to take control back over my life, so it was a necessary selfishness. Whereas for Chelsea, it was more
selflessness. If that's the word, it's just selfless. Being selfless. Selflessness?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Look it up. I don't know, but it's the same. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like I said before. There's a lot of things that I had to like not internalize, but I had to like keep inside. Not like big things that would that I would harbor in and explode at a later date. No, not like that. I mean, like the little things that I normally would be like, yo, what the. I had to let that go. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of instances where that had to happen. There were a lot of instances where I just had to let him be. If your partner, just like Chris was, is telling you, yo, I need a minute, I just don't take it personal.
Right.
If he needs a minute and he's asking you for a minute, just be happy that he's vocalizing that and give him that minute, because they will come back around to you, and
Right. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of
behind the scenes that you're not gonna know
right.
about.
And then I don't even know what's happening. So empathy. That's a big one.
The fourth would be, I'm not going to say that. You wrote that.
The fourth one is to be a tray and a ween.
I don't know. Nobody's going to know that reference.
If you don't know the reference, Google it. The meaning of that reference is you just kind of have to go with the flow. Some months are going to be super easy. Some months are going to be a little more trying. But you always have to remember that if you're going to be super rigid, you're going to break. So you have to be a tray and a win. You kind of just go with the flow. Go with the flow.
And that can be said for both.
Right.
Both sides of the relationship. And the final tip that we would say would be self-care. For me, I had to remove myself as well at times, just like he needed a minute sometimes. There's so much that's going through their heads that you don't know about. You feel like you're in the dark sometimes, and everything is so centered around this transition that you may find yourself, like me, feeling like you're losing yourself. You know what I mean? Because you're taking care of him or her, whoever is the one transitioning, and you lose sight of everything else. Like, because transition becomes the top priority in everybody's life that is around you. So I definitely needed to take some time, have a breather, do something for myself, so then I just didn't feel like I was losing myself. So for me, it was getting my nails done. I would take a day and do that, and then I would be able to come home and I'd have a day where I can do whatever I want. I didn't have no responsibilities like with the kids or anything like that, and it was just my time.
Okay. What I used was meditation, working out, and books just about self-development, just to kind of center myself and figure out what kind of person I was trying to become. That's what I used, just to make sure that I was centered and grounded in life, and in turn for the other people that were in my life during the transition.
Right, because that saying that says, like, how are you going to love somebody else if you can't love yourself? It's all about that.
Is that
is definitely, is it? What are you? Why are you cracking on me right now? That's not a saying?
That's RuPaul. It's RuPaul.
Okay, but it's well known, right?
I said train to win. You could have RuPaul.
But it's a saying though, and everybody knows what it is. Everybody's gonna get that reference.
Everybody's gonna get that reference.
Anyway, still doing it. This is what I gotta deal with. Anyway, keeps it fun. So as a whole, for us, it has been a beautiful journey, struggles and all. It's mostly been joys. But it's been a beautiful journey for us, and we know it's going to continue. The one thing that I would like to touch on, though, I think we did another video about this previously, but one thing that, especially if you're within the LGBT community, you may be facing this if you're, like me, identifying as lesbian. Make sure that you have, or if it's possible, make sure that you have a group of people or just someone that you know that can relate to you, that you know that you can reach out to, because it does feel at times very isolating to be within the LGBT community and going through a transition and having your regular, for me, lesbian friends around me, to feel like you're no longer part of that you can no longer be part of that group. It shouldn't be like that, I know, but it does help to find someone that you can relate to. So I strongly suggest that you do that. There are forums out there. There are Facebook pages. There's other resources that you can reach out to, I'm sure, within your area as well. So just seek them out, because it is very helpful to be able to have somebody that can relate to you throughout the transition.
And I encourage people who are actually transitioning to be aware that there are other people around you transitioning with you, whether it be friends, family, your spouse. Always remember that despite all the craziness going on in your head, that you have to control the controllables. You can't control, when you're going to get your T-shot. You can't control how your consult's going to go. You can't control if you have insurance issues or not. But you can control how you respond to certain situations. You can control if you see that you're going through something that you could vocalize it, go to a therapist. You can control certain things, certain aspects of your transition. So just remember, control the controllables, and that there's other people that are going through the transition just as you are.
So we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope it is helpful to someone, whether you're going through a transition or not. If you're in a relationship, in a marriage, it can be helpful. So we hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.